And welcome to Case Closed. I'm Charlie Langton, your host. We'll soon go inside an actual courtroom in the Warren District Court to see a real small claims case in action. Now, under Michigan law, small claims cases may be brought by individuals seeking $3,000 in damages or less. Neither side may be represented by an attorney in small claims court, and the judge's decision is final. Now, let's take a look at the first case. Was Mr. Wright the wrong tenant?
Mr. Rubin, go ahead. This is your case.
Yes, sir. On 12/1/09, Mr. Wright and Miss Campbell moved into our house. It was a one-year lease that after the 1 year was up, it would go month to month. On January 11th of this year, Mike asked me to come by. He wanted to fix up one of the rooms. There was a crack in it. I have a photo here I can show you in a minute. And he wanted to paint the master bedroom. So he wanted to take $150 off his rent to do this. I said, okay, that's fine. On January 29th, Mike calls, says he's moving out on 2/1.
When did the lease expire?
The lease expired December
Front page.
11/30 of last year, so it was just a month-to-month lease now.
And how much was rent?
$590 a month.
Okay.
So on January 29th, Mike calls, says he's moving out on 2/1. He would not give me his new address. I told him that he can't move out on 2/1. He's required to pay for the entire month because in the lease, I'm required to have 30 days notice to for him, for me, and me for him. It's a 30-day notice. He said, oh, you knew I was thinking of moving out. He acquired some money. He was just going on and on. I said, I still need 30 days. You're not giving me 30 days. On February 1st, I received an email from Consumers Power that the gas was out of their name and now into our name. We have a tenant thing with gas and electricity. That way, if someone moves out in the middle of the winter, it doesn't get cold, so we get notified. So I've got. Can I hand you this?
Sure. Did he move out? Or
He
is
did
still
move
there?
out.
He did move out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I just handed you, sir, is the move out, or excuse me, the change in gas from his name to my name effective 2/2, and you also see the second page will be the change in electricity in his name to my name on 2/7.
Okay.
I phoned Mr. Wright numerous times trying to get the keys to the house. He refused to give me the keys, wouldn't get back with me, wouldn't call me. On 2/10, February 10th, I went by the house just to see what it looked like. Just to start getting it ready to rent out again. And I've got photographs here of how he left the house. They're poor photographs, I apologize for that.
Our kids use all the ink on
I'm sorry, what is your name?
I'm Tracy Rubin, I'm his wife. Our kids use all the ink on our printers. We have 3 small kids, so sorry about the color quality.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Now, those pictures were taken on 3/22, but on 2/10, that I haven't touched the house. We haven't gone in the house. We haven't done anything because of threats from Mr. Wright, and I'll get into that in a moment.
This is the way it is now?
That's the way it is now, still, because of threats from Mr. Wright. We visited, so after I visited the house, I saw clearly he had moved out. There was no food in the refrigerator. There's no nothing. I mean, just garbage. You can see the way he left things. I changed the locks on the house because he wouldn't give me the keys. So the locks were changed. That night, my cell phone started going off the hook. He called me 15 times in the period of about 4 days. We had to file a police report with the city of Pittsfield, or the township of Pittsfield, where we live is in Ann Arbor, Pittsfield Township. Officer Podlaha phoned Mr. Wright and told, in these messages that were left by Mr. Wright, and I have them on a thing, they just wouldn't let me bring it in. He threatened to break my arms, threatened to come out to our house and do damage to our house, threatened my family.
In Ann Arbor.
In Ann Arbor, he was gonna come all the way out and do that. So we had to go file, I didn't know how to do the police report, so I was told we had to do it where we live. So the officer phoned Mr. Wright and said that, oh, yeah, I'll get to that. Phoned Mr. Wright, saying that I could file a police report. I said, you know what? I could file charges because of his threats. And I said, the police heard all the tapes, or excuse me, he left them on my cell phone. He just leaves me messages. I mean, it wasn't really the most intelligent thing to do, to threaten to break my legs and leave it on a cell phone. So the officer heard all those things. I said, you know, all I wanted to do was get it documented that something was going on here. So I didn't file I didn't file formal charges. Mike, or Mr. Wright, ended up calling me and said he's not going to call me anymore. On 2/10, when I changed the locks, Mike broke into the house, and he'll admit to this. He had a locksmith go into the house. Didn't really do anything. He just went into the house. I wish he would have taken the rest of his stuff out, but he chose not to and left the house the way it was and even locked the house back up. But he did break into the house. And that's when he found out that I changed the locks. That, you know, so whatever. So we got a locksmith on that.
Well, he threatened to
Oh, so yeah, then he said
He was gonna squat, he was gonna move back in.
he was gonna move back into the house, said I illegally evicted him when I didn't evict him at all. He moved out, and that's why utilities are in my name, and there's nothing in the house, as you can see by those photographs. So we consulted attorney on 2/14, because Mr. Wright would not give us his forwarding address as he's supposed to in his lease. We had to track him down through, fill out one of those forms for the post office for where the mail is. So anyway, we were able to get his new address. And this is where we stand now. I have not gone back in the house because of the threats that he's made to me. And got a laundry list of expenses that he's done damage to the house. We originally were suing for $2,500, but we didn't get all the expenses. We didn't actually get contract expenses when we did that. So we're way over $3,000. We know we can only go for $3,000. So,
How'd you come up with $3,000?
well, we've got a water bill that never got paid. That was $269.93.
$269.93.
93 cents.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Go ahead.
$590 for February rent because he didn't give me 30 days notice.
He moved out what day again?
He moved out February 1st, I guess.
And he gave you notice when?
January 29th.
Okay, so this would be February's rent.
February's rent, because he's liable for that.
Okay.
We knocked off $150. We talked about that to paint, so that was for the month of January. That work never got done.
So you're asking, this is for January.
That was for January, so we're asking for $150, so that was for painting costs that he never did. And if you look in there.
Wait, how much did he pay for January's rent? $440?
Yeah.
$440.
Okay, so another $150 for January rent. All right, go ahead.
We have attorney fees, $100 to locate him because he would not give a forwarding address.
Who'd you pay the $100 to?
Lavasser
and Dyer, Randy Lavasser,
in
Okay.
Berkeley.
Dyer and Associates.
All right, go ahead.
That's our attorney.
The kitchen cabinet was broken, that was $800. The bathroom cabinet, you can see by these photographs, I don't really know what he did, but he busted that out, so that was $250.
This is money you paid?
These are estimates, I haven't done the work yet.
Yeah, these are estimates
Where'd you
from-
get the estimates from?
Was it Trumbull?
Yeah,
was
Trimble Construction.
Do you have anything
Trimble.
written?
No.
$800 for the
kitchen cabinet. $250 for a bathroom cabinet.
$250 for bathroom cabinet?
Yeah, the vanity.
What's wrong with the kitchen cabinet? Does it show up in these pictures?
Yeah,
All
it does.
the
It's
cupboards are ripped off.
Yeah, the cupboards are, there's missing drawers. Bedroom number 2 door, I don't know what they did, but you can see where there's damage. I circled it on one of those photographs.
That's how much?
That was $225.
Okay.
Bedroom number 1, the window, again, I don't know what they did. It either won't go down or won't stay up, but you can see the duct tape across the bottom, and you can see some wood sticks. Those are brand new windows. Those are wall side windows.
Okay.
I had $500 for that.
Did you get an estimate for this?
No, this is just stuff that we've done for rentals in the past. We have a lot of rental houses.
Well,
so
Jerry Trimble too.
yeah. Well, plus we did. I just didn't bring them.
All right.
And then the last thing was that refrigerator shelf. It's broken. I just guessed $100 on that. I don't know. I have no idea what it's going to cost if I can even fix it at all. But that was a good refrigerator. And so that comes out to $3484.93. And that, again, does not include the lost rent for March, April, and May of another $1,770.
So plaintiff landlord wants money from tenant Mr. Wright because Mr. Wright didn't give landlord 30 days before he left. And when Mr. Wright left, he trashed the house. Okay, Mr. Wright, you're up.
Well, let's hear what he has to say about the council. Go ahead.
We got January's rent paid up. We weren't evicted. He was told 3 months in a row we were moving, one in writing. I didn't. That's the only thing I don't have. Everything is precisely here from all the rat holes and the rat problems. And we were evicted with the 911 call you'll hear as I'm going, what do I do? He changed. I got the pictures of the brand new locks on the doors. You'll notice the whole, they're fancy. I mean, he changed the window locks. And we were just taking a load and I came back. I came back to the house, so the doors were locked.
To get our stuff.
Why are you suing for $3,000?
Okay, here's the
Hospital bills because of all the wax ring molds.
garage.
We have them in the thing in the garage. I got electrocuted, broke my back on a ladder.
How did you get electrocuted?
I don't know.
Neither do I. That's why I'm asking.
No, the wires are hanging out of the box. I didn't know they were
Yeah, we
live.
have a picture.
I was in there for 20 days in the hospital. I got the bills, 20-day stay.
Because you were electrocuted?
And I hit my back over the
Yeah.
ladder and broke my back. That's one of the late fees they're talking about. I broke my back.
I'm not talking. What about this?
I got
I'm not-
pictures of it.
We don't know
I'm not talking
anything
about
One
any
at a
late-
time, sir, go ahead.
I'm not talking about any late fees. I don't know what he's referring
No,
to.
the fact that he got electrocuted. you
I don't think I even have electricity in that garage.
And this is the first we've heard this.
So I have no idea what he's talking
When
about.
you get
No, you
electrocuted,
sent us a
let me
link.
be quiet. There can only be one person talking at a time, okay?
Payment.
He remembers.
When did you get electrocuted?
They said.
When did you get electrocuted?
When did I? Where's the hospital bill? honey?
We have on.
Be
here.
quiet, man. I'm not talking to you. One at a time. Can't you follow that direction?
Electrical hospital bill. Is this the bill for the same day or when I got admitted? Electrical for hospital bill. Help me find the date, honey. Would that be it?
Man, sir, just tell me.
320.
What day? Don't
325.
you remember the day you got electrocuted?
No, I don't. I have seizures.
Yeah, he has.
Be quiet, man. I'm not talking to you.
I have seizures, sir. I have a really bad memory.
So how can I believe
That's
anything
why I
you
had
say?
to do all this. Because I got all the receipts and proof for everything. I was locked out. I got a 911 call. He knew we were moving 3 months
What's the
beforehand.
911 call all about?
The 911's just me asking him, what do I do? We were moving our stuff to the other house, and they literally changed our locks in our house. She lost all her jewelry. And on top of her jewelry, our bed box spring. And the house looks messy, of course, because you're going to sweep up when you move.
Well,
We got
so-
January's rent paid up. We weren't evicted. I don't
Well-
know what to do. If you think I'm in the wrong, then I'm in the wrong.
I think you are.
No, we have everything here.
I didn't know what you want. Else
It's
you
very
want.
difficult for me to figure out what exactly you're asking for here in terms of your
well,
counter.
because-
Well, the locksmith receipt, and then
That's when he broke into it broke into our
the
house.
security
No,
deposit.
he didn't break in his house.
You know, Mr. Wright, I cannot figure out exactly where you're coming from and all
He
this.
broke in our house and locked our doors. I told him 3
When did
months
he
in-
do that?
February 10th between 8 and 11. I'd say.
When did you move out?
We were moving out. Our last night was
When-
February
when-
10th.
when-
February 10th. February 10th when he locked us out, we were out.
Okay.
We were out February 10th, and I paid the rent every month on the 5th.
Were you going, did you want to stay in that house?
Well, when we got to the other house, if he didn't keep us,
No,
keep us
listen to
out.
me.
No, there were rats all over. There were rats all over.
Were there
the
rats
holes.
there, sir?
The
Wait
tiles.
1 second, were there rats there?
He said there were rats. We never saw rats. We had a radical go out there based on his word to have it treated. It's a licensed, if you want to,
Just a
it's a
rat.
licensed facility.
Said the rat was
So no, Your Honor, I've never seen rats, but we did it just to appease him.
Where'd he go?
right there, right there.
We're all legit. We do
Put
everything
that
by the
back.
book.
That's a checkbook. And then I got a problem where I took one down with a machete. He was a good footer. And he come at my jugular. I had a shield in her Ginzu sword because she's like black belt. And boy, this rat was going for my jugular, and I caught him.
The rat?
It was a
Yeah,
big rat.
He almost took me
About this
out.
big.
He rolled with my cat. I threw my 22-pound cat across the room. He jumped at my throat. It was me or him.
That's the defense? He was electrocuted? I don't know if I heard anything about the rat or trashing the house. I'm not so sure this guy, Mr. Wright, has any kind of defense, but let's see what the judge says.
I'm entering a judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. Court will add to that cost, consisting of a $65 filing fee and a $46 service fee, bringing the total amount of the judgment to $3,111. The counter complaint is dismissed. You're all set.
Rats! Obviously, the judge wasn't buying this one, nor was the judge buying the machete or the mold or the 22-pound cat. Come on, defendant, you got to stick to the facts. This was an easy one. Plaintiff wins. Now, let's take a look at the next case of make sure you know the car before you buy it.
Ms. Cody, this is your case. What are you asking for?
I am asking for what I paid the defendant for a car that I purchased from him, which is $1,200.
Okay. You mentioned in your affidavit and claim $1,200. You're asking for $400 now?
No, I said $1,200.
Oh, $1,200.
I'm sorry, $1,200.
Okay, $1,200. Why do you want $1,200?
That is what I purchased for the car.
Okay.
And I didn't drive the car not even a week before it started to act up on me. As you can see, I filed for I filed a claim October 10th. I purchased the car October 2nd.
Well, okay, what kind of car did you purchase?
It was a 95 Grand Am.
Okay. Did you get any warranties with it?
No warranties.
Okay, how much did you pay for it?
$1,200.
$1,200. Okay, that's right. That's what you said, $1,200. What's wrong with the car?
Well, the car, the first day I purchased the car, it was kind of loud, so I thought it was the muffler, okay? And then my son took it to school the following day, which was on a Monday, and it was knocking really loud and it ran hot. So I took it to my mechanic, and he advised me not to drive it anymore. But unfortunately, I had to drive it another day. I called the defendant to let him know what was going on with the car, and he said that he will, try and take care of it. I took the car back up there, and he said it was the radiator, and he's supposed to replace the radiator, but the same problem was going on, and as a matter of fact, it was getting worse. So I called my normal mechanic, which is Mr. Edward here, and he diagnosed the car, and it was pretty much the engine has gone out, the transmission is gone. That's pretty much it. The engine it was knocking really loud.
How many miles are on the car?
132,678.
Okay. What about the car now? Is it drivable?
I want to say almost 2 weeks into this whole ordeal, it stopped driving. It was the transmission leaked all in my garage. The engine was knocking so loud until I would not advise anyone to drive it, so I didn't drive it, neither did my son. And we just let it sit there in the garage until court date. I had to purchase another car, which I told myself I would not buy a car from a personal owner until, unless I have someone there to advise me. So I have a car note now, and I traded that in for $500.
Okay. You never got a warranty on the car or anything?
No warranty. I just went on good faith on what he said was going on with the car, and pretty much said it was in good condition, that his mechanic redid some parts on the engine, and it wasn't knocking when he left, but later on that night when I drove the car to the grocery store, it was kind of loud, and again, I thought it was the muffler.
Okay. You never got inspected before you bought it, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I did not.
132,000 miles on the car, $1,200, no warranty. Doesn't look great for plaintiff, but let's hear from the defendant.
Okay, well, what do you have to say, Mr. Milinovich?
Your Honor, the day she bought the car, she had called up and she talked to Steve.
Who's Steve?
Steve is the guy she called and was the first guy that she talked to that actually worked out this deal that we have in writing here.
Well, who owned the car, you or Steve?
It was actually Rochelle, a friend of both of ours. She
Rochelle?
actually purchased
Not
another.
this Rochelle.
No. Her name's Davita Steele. She actually purchased the car from me, and she told us to sell this car so she can make up the difference from another car that she bought.
Why did she ask you to sell the car?
It was Davita Steele's car.
Davita Steele?
Yes.
Okay, why are you involved then, if you did
Because
not own the vehicle?
Well, Davita Steele bought another car from me and told me to sell this one for her because she didn't have all the money for the first car that she bought from me.
All right, so you're involved in selling this car
Right.
even though you don't own it.
Right.
Go ahead, what happened?
When she called on the car, we weren't there. She answered, they worked out an agreement. We went to her house, she started the car, she came back. We fixed, like she said, the radiator and the water bottle that was on the thing, or the coolant bottle. We didn't charge her nothing. Actually, she bought the car for $1,800, and when they called me and told me, I actually believe I talked to her mechanic.
They being who? She said they called. Who's they?
Well, she called and she put her mechanic on the phone
okay.
supposedly. And they told me that there was some oil leak. Well, she still, actually, I have a list here that she was supposed to make $200 payments every 2 weeks, that she was supposed to make. And I told her, if the oil leak's as bad as she says, because we've already replaced the radiator and the other thing for free, we did not charge her nothing, that if she was gonna take care of this, we asked him how much, in his honest opinion, that it would cost for the oil leak. He said somewhere in the range of $600 to $1,000. I told her I'd waive the $600 if she got it fixed from her mechanic. So they already knew that it had an oil leak. There was no loud noise because we had that car a week after, and when we replaced the radiator, there was no loud noise there.
Okay, so defendant's best friend's wife's friend sells a car to defendant to sell, and Steve, the tire guy, seals the deal. I don't know if that's a great defense, but I'm not so sure plaintiff has a great case either. This one could go either way.
All right. Well, you know, this really is an easy case. And every once in a while, I see cases like this come in front of me. And for people such as you, Ms. Cody, it's a painful lesson. When you buy a used car and there's no warranty, okay, as is the case here, you buy whatever you get. You get the car as is, okay? So if there are problems with the car, it's your responsibility to fix. That's what happens when you buy used cars. You pay a lot less money for used cars than you would when you buy a new car, and the reason why is because there are problems with them. This car had 132,000 miles or something like that on it. You paid $1,200 for it, which isn't a lot of money for a car. That's why you only paid $1,200 for it, because you bought a car with 132,000 miles that likely has problems, and this one did have problems. And in that instance, unless you get some sort of warranty or some sort of guarantee from the person that the car is in good shape, you really don't have any grounds to sue. You have to, another way I suppose you could win is if you could show some sort of misrepresentation. In other words, that the person deliberately hid something from you.
Okay, I do have misrepresentation.
What's that?
First of all, he said his name was John. It's not. That's one thing.
Well, that's got nothing to do with the
Okay,
car.
but, and I also want to see the written purchase agreement.
Wait a minute, you said misrepresentation. What misrepresentation do you have other than this person's name?
That's what I'm about to ask you. I want to see the purchase agreement, because he said that I was supposed to have paid $600 or $1,800. No, that's not so.
I'm talking about the car, the condition of the car, that type of
Well, the car-
misrepresentation. How did he tell you, or how did he hide from you some defect in the car that you couldn't figure out?
The knocking of the car, he put, it's called, this oil called honey. I knew nothing, I don't know what he's talking about as far as the oil change is concerned. I know nothing about that.
Okay.
When he brought me the car, it was not knocking or anything.
Okay,
The next day, it began to knock.
okay.
So I called my mechanic to see what was going on. My mechanic can tell you exactly what he diagnosed.
I understand that. My question to you, which you haven't answered, is how did Mr. Milinovich or anybody selling this car deliberately conceal from you or misrepresent to you the condition of the car? Did they do something to this car to hide the condition?
Yes,
What?
they put honey in the car so that it would not knock at all.
I don't know what honey is.
My
ma'am,
mechanic
okay?
can explain it to you.
Well, you know, that is not going to help your case.
Your
any.
Honor, had I known that this car, I mean, I understand that, it's 135,000 miles. And I understand it's a 95, it's an old car. I understand all of that, and there are some things that needs to be taken care of. But an engine, that's most important.
Why didn't you get it inspected before you bought the car?
It was on a Sunday. I had to get my kid to school.
The next day?
Yeah.
How did you get into school Friday?
No, it wasn't on a Friday, it was on a Sunday.
No, didn't your kids go to school Friday before you bought the car?
Oh, no, yeah, they did go to school.
How did you
but
get?
I
Wait a
read-
minute. How did you get into school then?
I ran out of options of getting him back and forth to school.
Did
That's
they
why
go
I
to
was
school on Friday?
Yeah,
How did you get him there that day, that Friday, before you bought the car?
their dad.
Okay, why couldn't their dad take them Monday, the day
Well,
after you bought this car?
Dad and I are not in that type of relationship, so, I mean, I can't force him to do anything he doesn't want to do.
That's true, but that
So-
doesn't get you anywhere in this case, ma'am, okay?
Okay, I'm just
okay?
saying that the bottom line to me is that he sold me, I was under the impression that this car had no problems with the engine
Right.
at all.
I'm sure of
And
that.
the next day, I had problems with this car.
I am
And he
sure
knew
of
what
that.
he was doing. He knew that he was selling me a car that was not drivable.
That may be true, but that doesn't mean you can win on the case, okay? That doesn't mean you have a cause of action. When you buy, as I said before, when you buy a used car with no warranty, then you get whatever it is you pay for, okay? You buy the car as is, you know, unless you can show deliberate misrepresentation. When I say misrepresentation, I mean some sort of concealment where this person knew there was something wrong with the car and did something to make it impossible for you to figure out what was wrong with the car, hid some sort of defect. Unless the person did something like that, and I don't think that's what happened here.
So you don't think when he put the honey in the engine, that wasn't misrepresentation?
No, I don't. I don't know what honey is. I don't know what kind of oil it is, but it's nothing that prevented you from figuring out what was wrong with the car. All you had to do was get it inspected. You didn't want to do that because for whatever reason you had to have it for the next day.
Right.
I can understand that, but that doesn't mean you can now come to court and say that you're entitled to some money because you had to buy the car that day on a Sunday and couldn't get it inspected. Okay? Case is dismissed.
Honey in the engine. Well, that might have been something good if the plaintiff could have proved it, if the plaintiff had a witness. Now, there was a mechanic there, but the mechanic didn't testify. Bottom line here, you buy a car as is, you're stuck with the car as is unless you can prove your case. Here, plaintiff didn't do that. Plaintiff loses. If you find that you're involved in a dispute that you can't resolve, small claims court may be the answer. Thanks for watching Case Closed. I'm Charlie Langton.